最后呢，吴老师会分享屏幕，为大家展示使用软件的具体操作。在讲座的过程中呢，希望大家可以保持静音。如果有关文献综述的相关问题，可以在聊天框中随时提出，吴老师会为大家一一解答的。当然，由于时间有限，会控制在1个小时以内。如果有问题，要抓紧时间哦。对，我们是会有录屏的，所以大家如果一不小心错过了，也可以后续在哔哩哔哩或者是我们的官网上看到对应的链接。那么接下来时间交给吴老师。
谢谢介绍。然后对了，这个录像是非常重要的，因为我这个 presentation 主要是给大家一个 orientation， 然后这个录像可以让大家更多的这个研究一下怎样利用这个 citation tool， 然后进行你的那个 literature review。然后如果你来过我之前的这个 presentation 的话，你也许知道我是用英文来讲的，因为我的中文很一般，而且我学的这些心理学知识全是用英文来学的，到了美国之后，所以就不行了，所以请大家谅解一下。然后你可以在那个 chat box 里用中文来那个leave a message。如果我看到那个 message 的话，我可以直接回答。然后如果觉得有些部分不太了解的话，您可以直接插进来，然后问问题都行的。好吧，那我就
那个其他老师同学静音一下，那个谁可以把我可以帮你控制，或者谢池有可以把那些 mute 可以
对，就我现在这里目前是没有权限的。
那个谁，那个吴老师，你把那个你给谢池给他 assign 一个 co-host，让他去，这样他可以去 mute 别人。
好的，
好，这样我们就可以。
OK，
你继续好。
谢谢啊。好吧，那我先把我的 slide 给 share 一下吧。大家可以看得到这个 slide 吧？可以，好的，谢谢啊。好吧，那我就用英语讲了。我可以用中文讲，可中文很一般，所以我用那个英文讲吧。So, the topic of the presentation is using technology to facilitate literature review process. So this topic came to my mind actually last semester. Last fall, everybody in the USA have to use this remote learning and technology to facilitate their teaching and research and stuff like that. And I just happened to find out an application called Zotero. I know there's other equivalent type of applications existing, but I find out this Zotero was extremely useful when it comes to literature review and other procedurals of research. And I was thinking, yeah, I hope I could have known this strategy and technology when I was in grad school or undergrad. That could be helping me significantly, but here we are. I just find out, so I would love to share this knowledge with you guys, and I'm super motivated. And you guys too, the reason why you guys here at Saturday, it's Sunday, right? Sunday morning, is that you guys are motivated too. So we are here, and I'm excited to talk about this topic. So let's get started. Okay. So the goal of this talk is to provide initial impression on how to utilize this tool to facilitate your literature review in general. Of course, I'm gonna touch base on certain skills and able to instruct some of the knowledge and skills to you guys right now in this presentation, but it's more of provides you motivations and resources so that you guys can further explore about it and master the skills and help your research process. Okay, hope that makes sense. So that being said, the focus of this presentation is not inform how to do literature review type of studies. It's not inform every single detail about the software, so just want to clarify that point before we get started. Outline, so like she mentioned, I mentioned about literature review, difficulties about traditional review, and how this software can facilitate our learning. Review, there are type of literature reviews, or reviews are existing in the literature, right? There are different types of it. There's simply something called like review of literature. And there could be comprehensive review, literature review about certain topics. There's also systematic review. And there are much more different types of it. There's just a lot of different types of it. So let's starting from that, the first one, review of literature. This is not by any means a publication type or research type. This is a process of your research. We probably do almost every single time when we conduct any research. So that being said, what we do is selectively look for and review relevant research studies for the purpose of supporting your studies. At the end of the day, we realize and understand the topics that you want to study and build up your literature in the introductions and argue why your study is very important. And giving some implications about what are the contributions of this study to the literature that's existing. And when do we do that? Like I said, homework assignments. We do that a lot, Professors may ask you, hey, can you do literature review on blah, blah, blah? Can you do this study, but make sure you do this literature, And any research project for publications and thesis and dissertations, especially for thesis and dissertations, we're gonna review a lot of different things. It can be over 100, resources, or it can be way more than 100, right? So that's review of literature. Now let's take a look at literature review and systematic review. They can be both published in the journals, but let's see what could be the difference between these two. Literature review is introducing some broad topics without specific questions to be answered, but you start reviewing stuff to find out what's existing in the whole bunch of literature. But in the systematic review, you already have questions to be answered. Let's say a review want to answer how these behavior interventions has been treating children with autism, especially at 5 years old, at school settings. So it's very specific, and your review is targeting that specific questions. So that's systematic review. And in systematic review, you will look for the information with very specific terms because you have that question to be answered. But in literature review, it's broad, so you would not have that systematic way of looking for the articles or dissertations that you want to see. And systematic review has smaller number of articles to be analyzed, maybe dissertations too. But literature review, oftentimes it's very broad, it's very big. It can be over 150 to be analyzed at the end of the day. And the interpretations of the studies that you find out is up to the authors or researchers in the literature. So we interpret what we find out. But in the systematic review, because we systematically find out the data embedded into different studies, the data itself speaks for what's the implications, why, or what's happening in the literature. And directions, like I said, directions are given by the data that's reported by the studies within the systematic review. So slightly different, right? But as you can see, systematic review is more rigorous compared to literature review. It's more targeted as well. And what could be the difficulties of traditional literature review? For me personally, hard part is clicking through different articles. It's hard, it's surprisingly hard. We do that all the time, but let's say you have to look for 100 pages, look through different things. Somehow your internet is not smooth. Somehow, the computer is not being helpful, then it can be a big problems looking through different things, And other things that was tricky for myself is downloading them, putting them into my Dropbox or whatever cloud-based drive, and organizing them in certain folders. You have to categorize them, name them differently. And the other thing is looking into the abstract as well. You have to click through, look at the abstract, close it, go to different folder, and things like that. When you conduct a bigger literature review, you have a lot of articles that are overlapping. So let's say you are conducting systematic review and you want to report how many was replicated and what's the unique articles or dissertations you find out. Then you have to delete it. You have to count it. If you make mistakes, then that becomes a bigger problem when it comes to publications, especially, maybe for a conference too. So there's so many little tiny, tedious things that can take away your time and can really, take away your energy as well. And that's why I started looking through what kind of software can help me through those processes more easily. Like I said, what I find out is Zotero, this one. But at the same time, there are other functionally quite equivalent software. EndNote is very popular, but you know that it's not free and it's expensive. That's the problem. Mendeley, I don't know how to spell that, but Mendeley is very similar to it. It's a free, but I personally not really know what's the biggest difference between these three. But I would love to give you this website where they compare and contrast this software quite nicely, in my opinion. So take a look at it if you want. As I gonna upload this video, you will be able to get access to this link. So please take a look at it if you want to pick and choose among three of them. But my point is, these software can really help us. So, and it's your choice to pick one of them if you want, right? But I chose Zotero just because what I did is I asked a question in Twitter with a bunch of my colleagues, and I got the most votes from the Zotero because it's a free, user-friendly, and much more reasons. So I encourage you to explore about it if you want. So what you need to do first, is going to the website. Here's the website. You can find it out later and download two things. One is the software itself, which is free, and the other thing you need to find out is the extension, which you can embed into your Google Chrome. Then that's it for the download. It's pretty simple. The size of this software is not big. It can get big as you download a lot of things within that software, but if you're not heavy researcher, then you're probably fine. And I also embedded one video. It's a link toward the video where they give you step-by-step instructions on how to set it up in your computer. So hopefully that's helpful. But for the purpose of this presentation, I'm not going to cover that. The other thing that I want to cover is something called Prisma. Prisma is a preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis. So this is basically, and it gives you multiple guidelines, but this flow chart is giving you an idea about what you need to do first step, second step, third step, fourth step in terms of systematically picking up the articles or dissertations that you want. And it's even asking what you need to do, right? It asks you the numbers of articles or dissertations you find out in database research. Database research including those PsycInfo, ERIC, hopefully that sounds familiar. And there are much more other things. And you may have other resources for you to look for to get more information, right? Hand search, his research, I can't remember. Like you research within that, journals, and you do more search within article. It's all part of like second, type of or alternative type of search methods. Once you combine it, you will find out how many articles and dissertations you find out. Then you have to delete all of the duplicates, which is a lot of work. Okay, anyway, we can have a copy of the PowerPoints. PowerPoints, no. Video, yes. So video will be uploaded to the website. So at the end of the day, I think it's the same as you have the PowerPoint. So for anything that's embedded in this PowerPoint, you'll get access to. Hopefully that answers your question, Sui. But that's a good question. Yeah, so this is the flow chart, give you the 4 big, sections: identification, screening, eligibility, and what's included. But I would say this software will be most useful in these 2 phases, the first 2 phases. But I'm going to cover that later by demonstrating how to utilize that to you guys. And this is another website. This is a Prisma official website where you can get this chart in Word document. And there's also reporting criteria. That being said, once you collect all the data, how do you report it in your publication or your manuscript in order to be, in order to submit that stuff to certain journals. So hopefully that's helpful as well, but check it out. So what I'm gonna do now is describe each phase by showing these slides to you guys and pause it and then demonstrate to you guys by sharing this, screen so you guys can visualize it. And another goal of mine is get that to be recorded as well. So at the end of the day, when you watch the video again, it guides you to conduct all the steps that I demonstrated in this video. Okay, so, and again, pause me, stop me, ask any questions using the chat box, or you can just speak up. That's totally fine. Identification was the first step, right? So identification is not different than any other search steps, right? You will go to your database, which can be ERIC, which can be PsycInfo. These are 2 popular database for education and psychology field, right? So these 2, and you're probably going to type your key terms. For example, you want to do reviews. Let's say it's your homework or dissertation, doesn't matter, right? You want to know, you want to find out articles related to social skills interventions. So I put social skills here, and I put asterisk mark over here, truncation. That being said, you not only can capture social skill, you can also capture social skills, and intervention, because I want to find out social skill intervention, that by putting this truncation mark, I can get intervention and interventions as well. So that's helpful. Autism, right? Social skills intervention for children with autism. So that's what I want to find out. And you may have your, sometimes people want to look for not only published articles, but also look for thesis and dissertation as well. Then it's always good to include something like, ProQuest, something like that, right? So ProQuest and those common databases are your best friends when it comes to search. So identification. The next step is creating a folder within Zotero. And don't worry, I'm going to show you later. The steps would be, you go to My Library, right click, create a folder, new collection, and you can name it in whatever way. You can tell something like, social skills intervention for children with autism, something like that. And then click OK. Then you will have your own folders in this area, and the downloaded or collected articles and dissertation will be all going to that folders, automatically organized for you. So the next one is going to your search bar and then adjusting the criteria. If you want to only look for journals and dissertations, we can click these 2 items. And if you want to only look through in English, then you can click English, which is common in America, right? But if you're interested in Chinese, there are 3 articles related to that. That's awesome. I'm curious who they are. They must be excellent. Yeah, it's approximately look like this. The next one is screening. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate it for you. So hopefully this is Can you guys see this website? Can anyone say yes or cool or good? Nope. Yes. Yes. All right, cool. There was one no. A lot of yes. So I guess it's yes. Cool, cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do, let's say you're from University of whatever, right? You know, and you should have your own database in your university library. So look for that, and you can choose database like this. So I'm gonna just randomly pick, you know, academic search complete, APA psych articles and psych info, and ERIC. You know, these are very common database. And my suggestions for you when it comes to more comprehensive like review, like systematic review, look for more database depending on what you want to look for, right? If you are interested in, you know, let's say history, diversity, then look through different database and see what's their descriptions. If the description is related to your topic, include that as well, right? So click OK. Now the database is included. Now I can start typing what I want to find out, right? So autism, social skill, asterisk mark to be more inclusive, intervention, asterisk mark. The other thing you can be more mindful is, you know, put that as abstract. That being said, I want these terms to be appeared in the abstract, you know, then search. Let's go. Cool. If you still remember, I need to adjust the criteria so that I can include the articles or dissertations published within the range that I care. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you guys can see this one, but this is a publication date. So let's say I wanna focus on recent publications and dissertations. So I'm gonna put 2015 to 2020. And I'm gonna pick academic journals and dissertations. For language, I'm gonna pick English. A great thing, you know, in terms of this database search is that it gives you the number. You know, if you do those like systematic review, the numbers matters. So you can report how many, you know, articles and dissertations you find out by having this criteria. Just a little tip for, you know, review. This is what you find out. Then what you would do is include all the things that you want to include and move forward, you know, waiting for that second step. But for the purpose of this presentation, I'm not going to look through the 1,000 articles. So I'm just going to include the articles and dissertations within this first page, okay? So what you can do, after you download everything, this yellow folder is going to show up in your screen. This is actually part of Zotero. If you click this one, it'll ask you which one you want to include. So these 20 articles are exactly something appeared over here. So that's pretty handy, right? So these are all the articles. Let's say we want all of them to be included. So what I would do is select all, click OK. Then this will be asking me where you want to include this one. I can say more. Oops. Never mind. So let's see. Sorry about that. I forgot about one step. That step would be creating a folder. So this is Zotero interface. If you come to my library, right click a new collection, then you can make a new folder. So let's say it's social skills, and I can put something like autism. Okay. Then I have my folder over here, and it's totally blank, right? So I'm gonna minimize it first, and again go in here, click this yellow folder, and select all. Okay. And it automatically goes to social skills autism, this folder. It's really cool. The great thing about this is that it not only included to that software, but at the same time, it's all downloaded. So you don't have to look through different things and download it. It's all downloaded already. And let's say you want to do a more comprehensive review. So not only academic journals, you care about thesis and dissertations, right? Then you can go to ProQuest. I do believe your university should have this ProQuest database as well. And you will do the exactly same thing, you put the same keywords, make sure you click that, for the abstract, so that you have exactly the same search criteria, and you click search. Then again, you're gonna select your criteria. This time again, I'm gonna click dissertation thesis. See if I can click more than one. Yeah. Dissertation and scholarly journals. So apply. So that being said, I'm only going to look at journals and dissertation thesis. Custom date. So as you notice, most of the time it's in the left side of this window. So, and I would choose 2015 to 2020. So same 5 years. Language, pick English. So I'm good, So then you can go to different page and then click this yellow folder and click, select all of them, click OK, then you'll be going to the same folder. So again, for the purpose of this presentation, I'm not going to go through different pages, but let's do this. For only this page, let's select all of them, include to the same page. So I think this is really cool. You not only go to different database, and you can merge them into one folder, and it basically does that for you. Cool. So now, if you open up the Zotero, it has everything here, So this is the identification phase. I'm gonna take away this one and go to the second phase, which is screening. But before moving to screening phase, does anyone have any questions? I don't see any questions in the chat box, so I guess it's all clear. But cool, I don't see any questions.
我有一个问题，我问一下可以吗？我不打字了，我这么问一下可以吗？
可以的，可以的。
那个你说那个 Zotero 打开以后，它那个搜索里面会下载，它只是自动下载有 full text 的东西是吧？还是它自动下载一个 abstract？ 就是你看你的 folder 都在里面的，还是只是下载一个 abstract， 还是一个 full text， 还是一个什么都放在你的 created 的 new folder 里面？
对，它不但下载那个 abstract， 那个 full text 它都下载。如果没有 full text 的话，他们给你一个 link。如果你点进那个 link 的话，很多的时候不是最新的那种 article 的话，应该都有那个 PDF version。
OK， 只要它是有 PDF 的话，那么它都会是在自动的导入，就是它的 full text 原文，就不用我以前用的就是要打开 Save As 这样的，那这个它这个 Zotero 就自动的替我做了，是这样是吧？
对的。
OK， 好，还有一个问题呢，可能跟国内的，你刚才说的是这个有一个 extension， Google Chrome， 如果国内的话用不了这个 Google 的话，那个会怎么样？它跟国内常用的这个 Internet Explorer 这样的一些 browser 会兼容吗？
国内用不了 Chrome 吗？
我不知道，因为国内是用不了 Google 的一些东西，好像是可以是吧 ？OK， 那我不是很清楚这个。这个浏览器应该是可以。OK，Never mind。OK， 浏览器应该是可以的，那个搜索引擎用不了。好 ，OK， 好，谢谢吴老师。
可以吗？吴老师，就刚才谢老师问的，我刚才查了，就是Zotero 它不一定非要通过 Chrome， 它直接就是你可以 download 的，就是 for Mac 或者是其他的都不一定，它也可以 Firefox 也可以。
Firefox 也可以啊。
对，它有Firefox 就是 Zotero 的 connector for Firefox。
这个太好了。
对，它不一定需要它不是说through Chrome 是唯一一种方法。
那个太好。
好，谢谢吴老师。好，我们没有问题了。好，谢谢。
好，我看到一个问题，请问您在导入文献的时候，在阅读文章的 abstract 选择性导入还是全部导入在 Zotero 里面，对呢？abstract 读哈，里面可以读，然后这个也许也有那种什么，就是不导入那个 PDF， 也应该有那个功能吧。我是没有用过，可是我觉得应该他们也有那个功能。Mac 上的话 Safari 也可以的，是吗？太好了。不同 database 里面会不同 database 里同一篇文章重复下载吗？是重复下载的，可是我待会儿会介绍一下那个删除重复的那种功能，好像 Explorer 目前不太支持。Edge 也有 connector， 太好了，谢谢提供信息，谢谢。好。
吴老师，我还有一个问题，对不起啊，可能跟这个不是特别有关，我就1分钟。如果我目前你这个是新建的一个 folder， 如果我在使用 Zotero 之前，我已经有一些 folder 了，我这些文章想跟我新搜的文章放在一块儿，我怎么把我已经在电脑上有的这个 folder 导入到这个 Zotero 里面？有没有这样的一个功能？
可以的，就是说选完一个文章之后，你选 OK 的时候，这边有这个方向，然后点击这个的话，你可以点击其他的那个 folder。如果我把这个点到这儿的话，这个下载的这个文章会去到那个 folder 的。
它可以指定到那个我已经存在的 folder 里面，是吧？就是我已经电脑上已经存在的 folder。但是我如果说把我已经存在的 folder 导入在 Zotero 下面一个新的 folder， 有这样可以吗？
那个应该不可以吧？我觉得。
OK，Never mind。OK， 好，没问题。好，谢谢。来，你继续。
对，你可以向那个 Zotero 提供一下 suggestion。好吧，好的。对，拖进去也行。好吧。Screening 的话这个 screening 的 phase 就是你查一下它的那个文章，看一下 abstract， 还有其他的那个 criteria， 看一下它适不适合你的那个 search criteria。还是用英文吧。So the other great thing about this software is that it actually gives you the total number of the items, which is a key number to report in systematic review or literature review. So without counting all of them, it gives you a number, so you can save 10 seconds. That's awesome. So the other thing is, like I said, you have to go through different abstract and see if the content's matching your search criteria. Like, I want to look for children with autism, social skills interventions, and it must be empirical. I want to look for those empirical study, but it's only about comment or other contents, then I would just exclude it. And these things to do is look at abstract first, then move forward. So And the Zotero has abstract within the Zotero. So you don't have to go to a different page, click, and look through the abstract. So that's a good thing. And like we discussed, it's already downloaded for you. If you double click the article that you downloaded, it gives you the PDF immediately. Of course, you need to have Adobe Acrobat, DC, in order to be able to read it. However, it's already given, so you don't have to look through those download procedural. So that's really good. So I'm just going to show you briefly about that. So this is what we find out. And where is that? Social skills, autism. So we find out, by downloading all the stuff within the 2 pages, it's 40 in total. We got that one. And if you want to download something, double click it. Then you have this article shows up for you, really easy. And let's say if you want to, take this one to one of your folder or, share with other people, you can certainly, save that to your desktop or whatever, and then share with other people. So that's very handy. And the other things that I do really think is, important and cool is, let's say, I don't know if it's big enough for you to take a look at, but it gives you the type of journal. So it's an article journal and its title. And let's say if you want to have your own Excel file and organize that in a way that's accommodating you, then you can just, select all of them, copy and paste to move to other folders, so that's really cool. And authors' names provided, volume, issue, page numbers, the name of the publications, all provided. Even the timing of the publication is given. And of course, the URL. But most importantly, the abstract is given. So you really don't have to go to websites and take a look at it. It's all given, so you can just read about them. And for me, who has done but last semester was a quite heavy review type of work, my eyes hurt. I can't handle this small type of words. So what I did is basically put a Word document, copy, paste, then I can make it bigger, And I can make it bigger. And if I want to look for certain terms, let's say autism, search the term and it shows up, yes, that specific term that you look for is within this art, within this abstract. So you don't have to read through if you're lazy people like me. So that's really cool. Okay. So the next one is other great functions. So let's say we find out 40 articles and you have well utilized those articles within your study or systematic review or homework or whatsoever. Now what you need to do is make a bibliography for them, which takes a lot of time when I was in grad school because I didn't know about APA 6th edition when I was in grad school. And it just takes a ton of time, especially when you have over 100 articles to cite, plus books and all the stuff. So what this one does for you is select all of the stuff that you want to indicate and right-click and click create bibliography from the items. And you can select all the criteria. You can select from all the criteria that you feel matching your purpose. Nowadays, a lot of times, most of the times APA 7th edition. So you can click this one and you can choose either it's an in-text citation or bibliography. You can create a PDF file or Word documents, or you can just copy them. When you copy them, after click OK, you can just paste. Then all the things will be organized in a way that APA 7th style requires. Now I'm gonna show you how to do it. So let's say I used all of them, 40, dissertation/articles. And what I'm gonna do is right click and create bibliography. And of course, I'm gonna use 7th edition. And bibliography, I want to copy and paste the style. I don't want to make a new file, then just click OK. Here's the Word document. Let's say this is your reference sections. Then what you can do is copy, just paste. So everything is organized in APA format, alphabetical, all great. But I still suggest you to take a look at them to find out any, problems, especially capital, lowercase, uppercase type of things, especially. Most of the time it doesn't have mistakes, but sometimes it do show some mistakes. So I still suggest you to take a look at it one more time or a few more times after you have these things in your reference. But let's say you are new to these things, okay? Let's say you are new to research, new to citation things, and you have no idea about like how to do in-text citation, you get confused about it, then what you can do is just click in-text citations, copy to the clipboard, click OK, paste. Now it shows you for different articles how you can actually use the in-text citations. It's really cool. Give you the examples. Okay. That's one function. And the other great thing that I'm utilizing nowadays quite frequently is collaborations. You can actually use Zotero to collaborate with other people. Being said, the articles that you collected can be shared with other team members who is collaborating with you, so they can get access to the same thing. When they upload new things to Zotero, now you can see it too, which is really cool. And it's quite simple as well. What you can do is make a new group here by clicking this new library, new group, and this will take you to a new website. Now log in using your, sign up ID, password, and you can create a new group name. Let's say just test, and you can even choose that to be public, open member, public, closed, or private membership. That being said, unless you share with other people, there's no way they can see it. And create a group. Save setting, you can change as you want. Member settings, you can send invitations to the people. So basically you type their emails, invite, then the emails will be going to that member. Click and, click that email. If you accept it, then that people start in sync with you in terms of these Zotero files, So that's it. That's all I want to introduce this time. And like I said, my goal is for you to, have first impression about how that might work. And observing this video, once you get done, I believe it's going to be uploaded to our official website, ACHPPI website, sooner than later. Then hopefully this can guide you to utilize this one, And like I get benefited from this one, I believe you will get benefited too from this one. And I'm not attached to Zotero. I'm not part of their members. I don't get financial benefits or nothing. I just think this is beneficial for my research project, and I hope you guys can benefit it as well. So that's about it. I think I exactly used 45 minutes as I wanted it, but I'm open to any other questions if you have any questions. Yes, save time. That's the key topic of this talk. Save your time is my goal. Darn it. Thanks for mentioning that. For duplicates, thank you for mentioning that. My bad, totally forgot. All right, so this one has functions called duplicate items. A lot of duplicates over here. And it's important especially for the folks who's conducting literature review or systematic review, you want to mention before deleting duplicates, what's the exact number? After deleting the duplicates, what's the number exactly? That's the key things to report. So this process is something that I really don't want to miss. So thank you so much, Jingru. So what it would do, it's already organized for you, right? So go to duplicated items in my library, and you can see all the duplicated items. So let's say we want to go for the first one. Click this one. And this one shows you these 4 items, publication dates. They're exactly, not exactly, but mostly the same. So I can click random things and click merge, and it adjusts for you. Now it's gone. Now you can go to the second one. My strategy is take the most recent publication, so you can replace that with, something that's published at least, earlier, even this 1 month, But in this case, it's all similar, if not the same. So I will just click random things and click merge. And this one, click merge. And click merge. So compared to look through different things and delete it, add it, something like that, this is way more handy. So when I want to cite article down, so I just could not get down. I have to type by hand. Why? So what happened? I'm curious what that actually looks like, though. Alice, can you give me more information about that? Some just could not get down. I have to type by hand. Cite the article down. Yep. This is outside of the folder. And if you manage these duplicated items in this section, then your folder will be automatically managed along with this section. That part, Jaja, that part, I'm not really sure about what kind of, supplements can be more helpful. I was basically using this one for literature review and citations, and it's been, phenomenal in terms of helping me. But sorry about not able to answer what other supplemental things would be helpful. Chinese. I really haven't managed Chinese articles. That part, I don't think I can answer that. Or Chinese one that's not being, it's probably, English-based software that doesn't have other language system within it, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure that I don't have immediate answers for that, but yeah. But Jaja mentioned that, it seems like it's possible. So hopefully that works, but sorry about that. Cool. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Zotero能不能把文章中用到的文献 That's probably not possible, but what I would do is, let me see, let's say, okay, let's say I got this study. I'm reading this study and find out this article is very, very helpful. What I would do is look for those articles within your university, search engine. So let's say articles, paste. Hopefully that shows up. Here you go. So now what you can do is you got it and you can add this one, the first one, click OK, and put that into your original folders like this. Now it's been added. I don't know if it's as handy as what you expected, but in my opinion, that's pretty simple. Hopefully that helped Jingru. Cool. All right. Other questions?我英文说的讲的可以吧？可以听懂吧？谢谢你们原谅了解，谢谢大家集中，谢谢大家星期日10点来参加这个讲座，非常感谢。如果没有其他问题的话谢谢大家参加，然后希望下次我们可以讲一下其他的讲座吧非常感谢你们的参加，再见。谢谢。
吴老师讲的很清晰啊，这整题。
谢谢，我也希望我能用中文讲，不行。好吧，那大家没有其他的 comment 的话，我就关掉这个 Zoom 了。希望大家有好的星期日，拜拜。
大家周末快乐，拜拜。
拜。